Welcome back, everybody. Got a little information I want to share with you. A couple things I want to remind you of. In the last few days, I've been just kind of been in my thoughts a little bit, and it's been kind of tough the last few days, just trying to think of new ways to bring this life-saving information to you. And no one, what is so hard about this whole deal is it's been the same problem from the beginning of this whole deal. People don't want to use understanding when it comes to the word of the Most High. They want to take things literal. The things they want to take literal, they take them literal, and the things that they don't, they don't. And it's just, it's mind-boggling, and it gets frustrating to me because it could all be so simple. These things, I'm just going to lay it out for you. I'm just going to say it, and I've said this before, but I'm going to be a little bit more blunt about it. The Most High has given me a level of understanding that I don't see hardly anyone have. And I know most people are going to think, oh, he thinks he's God or something now. And see, that right there, if you're thinking that right there should let you know what the problem is. I'm not saying that. I'm just speaking the facts. This understanding, it didn't come from any intelligence of mine. Good thing, because I wouldn't have it, because I'm not intelligent. It just, it landed on me. However you want to chop it up, I have it. And it's not, I didn't get it on account of any talent or intelligence on my behalf, but I have it. And there's a few of you who I think are getting the bigger picture, but the world, for the most part, they just can't get out of literal mode. I found this TV series called The Phoenix that came out in 1981 last night. And it's all symbolism. But if you weren't looking for what that series is actually trying to tell you, and it's telling you a lot, let me tell you. If you weren't looking for that, you would think it was some kind of like superhero like television show that came out in 1981. But I assure you that it's not, and it's massive that you understand what I'm talking about. Like right here in Isaiah 7, he says, "And it shall be in that day that a man keeps alive a young cow and 2 sheep." Now, most people probably think that they're thinking that in the end, that all the men that will live will have a cow and 2 sheep. And it's mind, like I said, it's mind-boggling. It's so frustrating. I had someone talk about my beats that I make, and they said, oh, well, yeah, it's all good, your beats, but why don't you sing? And my response to that was, well, I sound like a buzzard, so you probably wouldn't want me to sing. But the reason I made the beats was to give praise to the Most High, and I use them in my videos when I'm reading the Word and I'm discussing it. So my lyrics is the Word of the Most High. And some of the videos I put pictures in those videos to go with those beats, and the pictures, between the pictures and the Word of the Most High, they say far more than anything I could say on my beats. So, and they watched my beat videos, and that's all they could think of was, why don't I sing, So it's frustrating that the world just can't see what's going on, and it's going to be the death of them. And I know that gets their panties riled up, but I mean, what am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say you're going to be okay and pat you on the tush and whisper sweet nothings in your ear? No, that's what the world does, and that's what's killing people. I'm not here to do that. I wasn't born to do that. I was born to give all praise, all honor, all glory, and all esteem to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, and to have understanding, and to go about Jerusalem and count her towers and report it to the coming generation. And that's what I'm doing. And the world is going to think negative about what I just said. They're going to think, oh, he thinks this, and it's going to continue to go that way until it's bye for you. And I can't help it. I can't help you. I'm trying, but you won't listen. You don't want understanding. You want to keep thinking the things that you've always thought, which has led the world down into a sewer. That in that show, The Phoenix, I mean, if you watch that, he says the same kind of things. He says that pictures are better than me telling you the words, and he says that it's difficult to be set apart because the rest of the world just thinks you're crazy, and they look at you like an object or something, and they don't take the time to try and understand. They want, first of all, they don't want to give any time to the Word, but the Word that they do give a little time to, they don't want to break it down. They don't want to use understanding. If it fits the narrative that their pastor preaches every week, that's what they stick with. If it doesn't ruffle any feathers or brings them out of their comfort zone, that's what they stick with. Anything that's going to actually demand that you critically think, they don't want to hear any of that. So I've read all this so many times, but I assure you that the man that keeps alive a young bull and two sheep, that's talking about a young man and two women, two females. However that looks, I don't know, but it's not a cow and it's not sheep. So I'm going to go to chapter 60, I believe. That's where we want to go here. And I think actually, might be 61. One sec. Here we go, in chapter 55. Let the Most High do the slicing and dicing, and let's just try our best to understand what he's saying. That's all we can do. And if you think you know everything that he says and you don't have to break it down anymore, there's your problem. Toodaloo. It's bye-bye for you. Oh, everyone who thirst, come to the waters. And you who have no silver, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without silver and without price. He's not talking about literal milk and wine. Why do you weigh out silver for what is not bread, and your labor for what does not satisfy? Listen to me and eat what is good, and let your being delight itself in fatness. This is why people can't understand what's going on. That movie, or that show, The Phoenix, it's all about Banu. It's all about what I've read to you, what happened here in Utah back in October of this last year. And it's so huge that it's, and all these signs that the Most High has shown me. I've been waiting. I was waiting for him. I saw him. And because of the understanding that he gave me, I've been able to see those signs, and the world, for the most part, has completely been completely oblivious to them. They missed them. They came and they happened, and the world wasn't paying attention. They didn't see these things like the flying scroll, like that Banu, like these eclipses, all these things. What the word's been telling us would happen. They don't come. They weigh out their silver for what is not bread. They take, we could, there's all kinds of examples of what this means. I mean, they give their time for things that mean nothing, that are going to be gone. And they give their devotion and energy to churches and teachings that mean nothing. And they take their money and put it in the offering plate, and they go every week to their churches, and it doesn't satisfy. It's not bread. It's diluted water. It's muddied water is what it is. Listen to me and eat what is good, and let your being delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear, so that your being lives, and let me make an everlasting covenant with you. The trustworthy, loving commitments of David, Daoud, Dawdy. See, I have given him as a witness to the people, a leader and a commander for the people. See, a nation you do not know, you shall call, and a nation who does not know you, run to you, because of Yahuwah, your mighty Most High, and the set apart one of Yasharal, for he has adorned you. Seek Yahuwah while he is to be found. Call on him while he is near. Let the wrong forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. There you go. If you can't understand that the tree in the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil that we were forbidden to eat, that brought about the curse, if you can't understand that that's not a literal tree, and that was not a literal fruit, that it is you thinking that you know best. If you think, it was a literal fruit, that's the fruit of that tree. If you think, the holidays, I can do these things and celebrate all this paganry, and it's okay. He just wants what's in my heart. He does want what's in your heart. But this is his story. This ain't about you. The world thinks that it's about them. that as long as they get to do what they want to do, everything will be hunky-dory, when it ain't. It's not going to be hunky-dory. It's going to be curtains for you. You have to forsake your way and your thoughts. And if it's wrong, if it goes against what the word says, that's wrongness. You're doing it the wrong way. He just said, let the wrong forsake his way. Let him return to Yahuwah. Where's Yahuwah? Where can we find Yahuwah? In the word and on your face. Let him return to Yahuwah, who has compassion on him, to our mighty Most High, for he pardons much. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares Yahuwah. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than yours, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain comes down and the snow from the heavens, and do not return there, but water the earth and make it bring forth the bud, and give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so is my word that goes forth from my mouth. It does not return to me empty, but shall do what I please, and shall certainly accomplish what I sent it for. There you go. And remember, this is about it's about being thirsty and hungry and desiring to be satisfied from the Most High in his word only, no one else. For with joy you go out, and with peace you are brought in. The mountains and the hills break forth into singing before you, and all the trees of the field clap the hands. So you should understand that that's not literal. Would the mountains and the hills break forth into singing? Do they literally sing? No, that's letting you know that this is about the land, the true land. Well, when you start looking for your home, the mountains and the hills are going to break forth into singing. And the trees are us. When they're planted in the land, they will clap their hands like I've been doing. Instead of the thorn is what covers the land. The thorns, the weeds and the thistles, the briars and the forest. Instead of the thorn, the cypress comes up. Instead of the nettle, the myrtle comes up. And it shall be to Yahuwah for a name, for an everlasting sign which is not cut off. What shall be for a name and for an everlasting sign? What I just told you. The land, it's a sign, just like all that stuff I just mentioned, those signs that the world missed out on. This land is for a sign. And it's letting you know that it's time to come home and that you need to return now. And you will not, the land, Jerusalem, our inherited land, and whoever is here who returns, comes home, will not be cut off. Anyone else is going to be cut off. Thus said Yahuwah, guard right ruling and do righteousness, for near is my deliverance to come and my righteousness to be revealed. Blessed is the man who does this, and the son of man who becomes strong in it, guarding the Shabbat lest he profane it, and guarding his hand from doing any evil. And let not the son of the foreigner who has joined himself to Yahuwah speak, saying, Yahuwah has certainly separated me from his people, nor let the eunuch say, look, I am a dry tree. See? A dry tree. For thus said Yahuwah to the eunuchs who guard my Shabbats, and have chosen what pleases me, and are holding on to my covenant. The covenant's all about the land. To them I shall give in my house and within my walls a place and a name better than that of sons and daughters. I give them an everlasting name that is not cut off. Also the sons of the foreigner who join themselves to Yahuwah to serve him and to love the name of Yahuwah, to be his servants, all who guard the Shabbat and not profane it and are holding on to my covenant. And one thing I want to stress about the Shabbat. The Shabbat is so important. I mean, you ain't going nowhere without the Shabbat. You got to keep the Shabbat. But there's so many things we could, if we broke it down, what we benefit, why we need to keep the Shabbat. I mean, for one, it's obedience. He told us to, and if we can't do that, we ain't obeying him. We don't care about nothing. We're a product of that tree in the garden. But what it teaches you is to just slow down. It takes you away from. It breaks you away from the desire, the feeling that you need to make as much money as you possibly can, that it doesn't matter. Like if you work a 9-to-5 job and your boss tells you that you got to work on Shabbat. Well, if you can't walk away from that job in order to obey the Most High, you're obeying money. And you might say, well, it ain't me. I really don't need the money, but my wife, she'll leave me, whatever. Whatever it is, however you want to chop it up, you are trying to serve two masters, but you're only serving one, and that's money and man. You're not serving the Most High. There's so many things that the Shabbat gives you, and if you can't obey the Most High and follow and observe the Shabbat, there's so many things that takes away from you. And the covenant is equally as important. You have to return to the land, long for it, lament it, come home and receive your inheritance. You can't be like Esau and refuse it. Them I shall bring into my set apart mountain and let them rejoice in my house of prayer. Hallelujah. Their ascending offerings and their slaughterings are accepted on my slaughter place. That's what you're getting right now. That's what you're hearing. It's my ascending offering, my slaughtering. I'm trying, at the same time, I'm slaughtering this offer of thanksgiving and praise to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High. And at the same time, I'm trying to call his people back and do what he wants me to do. For my house is called a house of prayer for all peoples, for whoever wants to come. That doesn't mean that you can follow the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and still enter in whatever. I mean, it's absurd to think how these people, to try to understand why these people think the way they do. I mean, it's ridiculous. The Master Yahuwah who gathers the outcast to Yasharal declares, I gather still others to him besides those who are gathered to him. All you beasts of the field come to devour, all you beasts in the forest. His watchmen are blind, all of them, they have not known. All of them are dumb dogs, unable to bark, dreaming, lying down, loving to slumber. And the dogs have a strong appetite, they never have enough. And they are shepherds, they have not known understanding. All of them look to their own way, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Everyone for his own gain, from his own end, saying, come, let me bring wine and fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow shall be as today, even much greater. They think they're just going to keep on trucking, and nothing's ever going to happen. But you've seen right here, he says, my deliverance is near. Use understanding. Be thirsty. Search his word. Don't follow your own way. Don't slumber. Don't be lazy and complacent. Be diligent. Get on your face. Give Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, all the praise, all the honor, all the glory, and all the esteem. Give none to yourself. I didn't get this understanding on anything, any achievement of mine. I'm blessed and thankful to have it, but he give it to me. He give it to me freely, just like he's given it to you. The only thing I guess you could say about me is I took it, and you can too. Come home.